Hi Shlok, what are you up to?
Hi Riyanj, I'm gonna watch the show Parthivi tonight.
You mean Daughter of Earth?
Yes.
Let me get my phone out so I could call some of my friends.
No, the phone will disturb us.
Let me get my camera out so I could take some pictures.
No, the camera will also disturb us.
Why?
I think that we should just put everything away and relax and enjoy the show.
I think that's a great idea.
Come on, let's go watch the show Parthivi.
Remember, no phones or no camera.
Welcome. Please join me as I take you along my journey. Thousands of years ago, in the cycle called Treta Yuga, gods and demons walked the earth alongside mortals. It was an age of magical powers and potent prayers used by forces of good and evil. It was a time when wonderful miracles or terrible misfortunes could change a man's life in the blink of an eye. The land of Bharat, or India, was a cluster of many kingdoms, each ruled by a strong warrior king. One of them being Videha, to which I belonged. My parents, Janak and Sunena, were king and queen of this kingdom, and ruled the land from the lovely capital city of Mithila. My father was wise and always kept his word, while my mother was famous for her compassion and generosity. They had everything except the one thing they truly wanted, a child. And that is where our story begins. Mithila had been cursed with an endless drought, and the earth was covered in cracks the size of valleys as a result. They couldn't farm or grow crops. Feeling helpless, the people requested that my father find a permanent solution to this terrible situation. Unsure of what to do, he visited the Rajguru, or the royal advisor. He advised Raja Janak to construct a plow made of gold and to till the drying land to bring fortune to Mithila. The king heeded his advice and began plowing the fields. Suddenly, the plow got stuck and would not move any further. Investigating this mystery a little closer, they discovered a beautiful baby girl, which was me. As my parents took me in their hands, a miracle occurred. Amazed, the people of Mithila celebrated as they were finally blessed with rainfall. During my Namkaran, or naming ceremony, my father wanted to find the perfect name for me, but he had so many options, he could not decide. Finally, he came to a decision. Because of the furrow his plow made as it dug into the earth, he named me Sita. Yet, as I like to call myself, my favorite had to be Prithvi se utpan hui Parthivi, daughter of earth.
सोना के हल जेकन चले ले जनक जी
सोना के हल जेकन चले ले जनक जी
तखा नहीं बरखा बरसल
सगरे मिथिला नगरी के मन हरसल
सगरे मिथिला नगरी के मन हरसल
पुत्री को नाम दीजिए राजा जनक।
नाम तो अनेक हैं इसके लिए। वैदेहपुर की वैदेही, मिथिला की राजकुमारी मैथिली, जनक की जानकी, भूमि से उत्पन्न हुई भूमिजा, किंतु हल की नोक से खेत में जो रेखा बनी, ये हमें उसमें प्राप्त हुई। इसलिए हम अपनी पुत्री को सीता बुलाएंगे।
सीता
सीता अत्यंत सुंदर नाम है सीता।
देवी सीता की, देवी सीता की, देवी सीता की, देवी सीता की।
लागा रे जल लागा, बरसा रे जल बरसा,
जमी की गोद भरी रे लागे हरी, कलसी भरी और ताल भरे और गोरिया के नैना।
लागा रे जल लागा, बरसा रे जल बरसा।
बात बात पर झूल झूल के फूल बजावे तालियां, बेर बेर माटी का ढेर बोले सबूर खोले सबेर की लालियां। धन है जल जन्मा है, माटी के बदन से एक और पल जन्मा है, समय की घुर्नी से नया कल जन्मा है। देखभाल कर आजकल पर लागा रे लागा,
लागा रे जल लागा, बरसा रे जल बरसा।
I had always been an adventurous child, wanting to explore the mystifying object I was forbidden to touch that resided in my father's room. Lord Shiv had bestowed the sacred weapon, the Shiv Dhanush, or the Pinaka, to Janak Raja as a testament to his deep devotion and to honor his virtuous nature. So, one day, as I was playing, I decided to feed my curiosity, and I lifted the bow. Everyone was shocked by my strength. At that moment, my father decided that only the individual who would be able to lift and string this divine bow of Shiv would be worthy of being the right match for me.
गोदी में धरती हो आकाश सर पे भरा भरा आंगन में बजती रहे झुनझुनों की सदा सदा गोदी तेरी भरी रहे तेरी मांग में सितारे भरे रहे सुहागन लगन सूर्य लगा रहे
जल लागा रे फल लागा जल लागा रे फल लागा
एक बार तो पूरे चांद को लागा रे फल लागा
लागा रे जल लागा
When the announcement of my Swayamvar, or the ceremony of self-choice, spread, Rajkumars, or princes, from different kingdoms all over Bharat, or India, prepared for their journey to Mithila. This was an exciting time for my father and I, because we would soon come to know who I would be spending the rest of my life with. I was so fortunate to have the privilege to choose my own life partner. However, this process was not as easy as its name leads you to believe. It was a ceremony steeped in tradition and significance, where the choice of a husband would not only affect my life, but also the future of our kingdom. I knew that I needed to make a wise decision, one that would honor my family and secure a prosperous future. The pressure weighed heavily on my shoulders. As the day approached, my nervousness grew because I would have to ensure that I was choosing the right person to be my husband from this group of suitors. My father, Janak, and mother, Sunena, were worried about who would prove to be the best match for their beloved daughter, which is why they decided to personally invite all these princes from royal families, even the Lankapati Ravan, to ensure they left no stone unturned. As I walked into the hall, my heart pounded with anticipation. My gaze swept across the sea of faces, each prince adorned in his finest attire, radiating confidence and determination. But the anxiousness only got worse when I saw Ravan, the demon king, walking in. I shivered at the thought of having to marry him if he succeeded. But then, amidst the crowd, I saw another face, a face that irradiated calmness and honor. It was Ram, the prince of Ayodhya. The moment our eyes met, all my worries and fears seemed to melt away. There was an aura of nobility and virtue around him that reassured me. I was certain that he was the one destined to wear my Jaimala. My family sat with their fingers crossed. Though many royal suitors tried to string the mighty bow of Shiva, a feat that required not just strength, but divine favor, only Ram, the prince of Ayodhya, was successful. Not only did he string the mighty bow, he also snapped it in half. My wishes came true, and Ram won my hand in marriage. The day I had been dreaming of had finally arrived. I was soon going to be wed to the most perfect man in the world. The Jaimala would be taking place, where, during the ceremony, we would be exchanging our vows and adorning each other with garlands. The palace was filled with excitement as the women decked the place with flowers and ornaments carried on their decorative plates, and the men showed off their bravery to each other, to their sports, as they all prepared for the wedding. It was the most auspicious day, or Shubh Din, for everyone in Mithila.
शक्कर भापो झांकी झांको हुई जश्न की ये तैयारी रे मन हर जाओ धन बरसाओ धन सुखवाड़ो जी रे
आयो रे शुभ दिन आयो रे आयो रे शुभ दिन आयो रे शुभ दिन आयो मरने वायो नयो नयो सो रंग ले आयो शुभ दिन आयो मरने वायो नयो नयो सो रंग ले आयो होठों पे मुस्कान गुलाबी लायो रे होठों पे मुस्कान गुलाबी लायो रे आयो रे शुभ दिन आयो रे ओ आयो रे शुभ दिन आयो रे मंगल गाओ
शुभ दिन आयो
बल बल जाओ
शुभ दिन आयो
बिसरी बातो
शुभ दिन आयो
मोला
शुभ दिन आयो
लोग बुलाओ
शुभ दिन आयो
रंग उड़ाओ
शुभ दिन आयो
फूल सजाओ
शुभ दिन आयो
जश्न मनाओ
आयो
शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो शुभ दिन आयो
Soon after, we found our way to Ayodhya, where we were greeted with joy and excitement because the eldest prince, Ram, had returned from Mithila. King Dashrath and his 3 queens, including Ram's mother and now my mother-in-law, Koshalya, warmly welcomed us in. They gave us their blessings as they performed all the traditional rituals. Dashrath was happy that his son was now married and it was time for Ram to take the throne and become king of Ayodhya. Ram's stepmother, Kaikeyi, on the other hand, was filled with rage as the coronation came to its end. Right before the crown could be placed on his head, she snatched it away. Finally taking advantage of one of the 2 boons granted earlier by her husband, Kaikeyi demanded that Ram be sent away to an exile for 14 years in the forest of Panchavati, desiring her son Bharat to be the successor to the throne of Ayodhya. In less than a second, my entire life was turned around. From Mithila, where I had a wonderful childhood, to getting married and moving to Ayodhya. It was like a dream, which had shattered into a million pieces. I was conflicted, because if I went with him, I was condemning myself to a forest life filled with hardships. But if I didn't, I would be forsaking my duties as an ideal wife. In my heart, though, I knew that I would not be able to live without Ram. Similarly, Lakshman knew that he would regret it if he allowed his brother to go on this treacherous journey alone.
आए हमरे द्वार कुंवर जी सखिया मंगल गाओ
While traveling on foot through the dense forest, the three of us arrived at the banks of the sacred Ganga River. The serene beauty of the flowing water was overshadowed by a significant obstacle. The route ahead was blocked, and there was no apparent way for us to cross over to the other side. The only sign of hope was a single boat seen on the waters, and on it stood Kevat, the boatman. He stood there with his palms joined in respect. Yet, he seemed to be rudely ignoring Ram's earnest attempts to grab his attention. It soon became clear that Kevat had recognized us immediately. However, driven by a deep and somewhat selfish desire to seek Ram's blessings, he intentionally stopped us from stepping onto his boat. With a heart full of devotion, he insisted repeatedly on washing Lord Ram's feet before granting us passage across the flowing river. His devotion was unwavering, and he made it clear that unless he was allowed to perform this act of worship, we would not be permitted to board the boat. Having no other option and understanding the depth of Kevat's devotion, we agreed to his request. Kevat's face lit up with joy as he carefully and lovingly washed Ram's feet. This simple yet profound act was his way of expressing his deep-seated love and reverence for his Lord. He collected the water used to clean Ram's feet, accepting it as prasad, or a blessed offering, and drank it, feeling immensely blessed and fulfilled. As we watched, we realized that Kevat's seemingly selfish motive was in fact an expression of his pure and selfless love for Ram. He simply wanted to spend time with his idol, to serve him in the best way he knew. This encounter not only allowed Kevat to fulfill his heartfelt desire, but also left us with a sense of the depth of devotion that resides in the hearts of true devotees.
सिंधु बोले मुस्काई सोई करु जेहि तब नाव न जाई वे ज्ञानु जल पाए पखारू होत विलंब उतारहि पारू अति आनंद सरोज पखारन लागा। वर्ष सुमन सुर सकल सिहाही, एहि सम पुण्य पुंज को नाही, एहि सम पुण्य पुंज को नाही।
चरणामृत के पान किए ते, चरणामृत के पान किए ते, कछुक भरोसा पई हो, अब निर्भय नाव चढ़ई हो, अब निर्भय नाव चढ़ई हो।
Forced to navigate life in an unfamiliar place, we soon learned to live without the things we took for granted, and the palace we used to call home. We spent our time roaming the enchantments of the forest that lured us in. Our home became the space between the trees of the forest, where simplicity and nature joined to create the constants of existence. The days bled into weeks, which turned into months, and finally into years, until the day I saw a golden deer. It was as if it had cast a spell on me. I had had nothing in my possession for so long as a result of my simple, serene life. But the deer had so deeply stirred my desires that I could not resist my attraction to it. So I insisted that Ram go after the captivating deer and bring it back for me. What I failed to realize was that in order to take revenge on Lord Ram, Ravan had sent a demon in the disguise of a deer. My happiness soon turned to worry, but Ram did not return. I waited and waited for a long time, until finally I told Lakshman to go find his brother. This led to a quarrel, because he refused to leave me alone, as he had been designated to protect me by his brother. After my many requests, he finally listened. But before he went, he drew a line using fire to prevent anyone from coming in for my protection. I called this the Lakshman Rekha. I was no longer concerned for my safety, but I was even more worried at the thought of both of them never coming back. Suddenly, a sage appeared at my doorstep, asking for food. I tried to invite him inside, but offering many excuses, he insisted that he would stand right outside. Taking pity on him anyways, I gathered all the food I had and tried to ask him once again, but he refused. Innocently, I moved towards him to drop the food into his pot. I was so distracted in my desire to help him that I didn't realize the sage was in fact Ravan. He grabbed my wrist, and by the time I realized that I had stepped out of the Lakshman Rekha, it was too late.
जटायु,
As Ravan continued his journey to Lanka with me, I felt profound sorrow for Jatayu, who had given his all to protect me. The brave and giant eagle had tried to rescue me from Ravan's Viman, or celestial chariot, but instead he fell after Ravan cut his wings. Later, Ram and Lakshman, in their desperate search for me, came upon the dying Jatayu. Despite his grave injuries, Jatayu conveyed to them the details of my abduction, revealing the direction Ravan had taken me. With his last breaths, Jatayu fulfilled his duty, providing Ram and Lakshman with the crucial information they needed to continue their quest. As I reflect on our journey through the forest, the story I heard about Ram and Lakshman's encounter with Shabri stands out vividly. Shabri, a simple tribal woman, had a deep yearning for spirituality. She found her way to sage Matanga's ashram near Lake Pampa, beside the Rishyamukha mountain, where she served him with unwavering dedication. After the sage passed away, Shabri took care of the ashram, maintaining her devotion and spiritual practices. Before his death, the sage assured her that Lord Ram would one day visit her. Dedicating her life to her guru's words of advice, Shabri waited patiently for years and years, sweeping and cleaning the ashram, gathering fruits and flowers for Sri Ram. Until finally, Ram, my beloved husband, and his brother Lakshman arrived at Shabri's hut while searching for me. Overwhelmed with joy, she welcomed them with open arms. She offered Ram berries and fruits, which she had tasted to ensure their sweetness, a gesture born from pure love and devotion. Despite the unconventional gesture, Ram accepted them graciously, recognizing her sincere heart.
तपस्विनी शबरी जाको नाम गुरुमतंग कह कर गए तो ही मिलेंगे राम। दर्शन देंगे कब दर्शन देंगे राम परम हितकारी, कब दर्शन देंगे राम दीन हितकारी। रास्ता देखत शबरी की उम्र गई सारी, रास्ता देखत शबरी की उम्र गई सारी।
Ram was pleased and blessed Shabri for her heavenly abode. Her story reminded me that true devotion transcends social norms, and that the divine always accepts love in its purest form. Shabri then suggested that they seek out Sugriva, the king of Vanras, or monkeys, for help on finding me. After Ravan abducted me, Ram's frantic search brought him to Kishkinda. Ram, listening to Shabri's advice, conversed with the Vanar community and met Sugriva. Forming a sacred pact, they mobilized their forces. The Vanras, led by Lord Hanuman, Ram's greatest devotee, set out in all of the directions to search for me, eventually leading to the discovery of my location in Lanka. When the Kapi Sena, or monkey clan, found out that I was being held captive in Lanka, they built a bridge named Setu Banda across the ocean, on which they traveled to Ashok Vatika. When I heard of their invasion, I was happily surprised. It offered me hope and a sense of relief, strengthening my resolve and patience. The news of Ram's nearing arrival invigorated me, offering a beacon of hope amidst my captivity. The melodious beauty of Ashok Vatika was a stark contrast to my troubled heart. Each day, I prayed for Ram's safety and yearned for the day he would come rescue me from the clutches of Ravan, who always ridiculed me but the unwavering devotion I had for my Lord Ram. He even questioned Ram's love for me, arguing that if he truly cared, why wasn't he here right now, saving me? Ravan boasted about his bravery and wealth as the ruler of the Golden Lanka, while the Rakshasis, the demonesses, harassed and taunted me for their pleasure. After arriving, Hanuman attempted to make peace by talking sense into Ravan, by saying, "Ravan, you are an evil spirit, and evil cannot last long against the pure truth. You still have a chance to redeem your sins before Ram arrives." But Ravan did not care. The demons of Lanka watched the rescue disgustedly and decided to play a prank. They lit the tail of Hanuman, the monkey leader, on fire to distract him. Their feelings of disgust soon turned to humorous pride as they burst into fits of laughter. Hanuman jumped around from place to place, trying to dispel the fire that was on the tip of his tail. Fear consumed the guppies as they helplessly watched their leader dance around. Using his cleverness, Hanuman devised a plan to take advantage of his flaming tail to save me. He jumped from building to building, making contact with his tail, and flew over all the land, burning the entire island of Lanka to ashes. Shortly after, Ram arrived and challenged Ravan to a battle, who laughed because he believed that after living in the jungle for 14 years, Ram had grown weak and was no match for him. The intense battle between Lord Ram and the 10-headed demon resulted in the eventual defeat of Ravan. Even though he had many faults, I couldn't help myself from empathizing with him. My sense of what had befallen rendered me open to the consequences of what kings and wars do to not only people but also animals. In a way, I symbolized life and the pull it causes between the commitment and strength exemplified by Lord Ram and the arrogance and greed shown by Ravan, which is present in all of us.
दौड़ के
तुमने राम में ऐसा क्या गुण पाया?
गिन पाएगा उनके गुण कोई क्या, इतने शब्द ही कहाँ हैं। पहुँचेगा उस शिखर पे कौन भला, मेरे राम जी जहाँ हैं। जग में सबसे उत्तम है, मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम है, सबसे शक्तिशाली है, फिर भी रखते संयम है। पर उनके संयम के अपाने को है सीमा, रावण समय है, मांगे क्षमा।
बजे सत्य का डंका, जले पाप की लंका, आए राजा राम करे हम प्रणाम, संग आए लक्ष्मण जैसा भारी।
पल पल है भारी, वो भी पिता है आई, मोहे बचाने अब आओ रघुराई।
राम में शक्ति अगर है, राम में साहस है, तो क्यों नहीं आए अभी तक वो तुम्हारी रक्षा को? जिनका वर्णन करने में थकती नहीं हो तुम यहाँ, ये बताओ वो तुम्हारे राम है इस पल कहाँ?
राम हृदय में है मेरे, राम ही धड़कन में है, राम मेरी आत्मा में, राम ही जीवन में है। राम हर पल में है मेरे, राम है हर श्वास में, राम हर आशा में मेरे, राम ही हर आस में।
ओ, राम ही तो करुणा में है, शांति में राम है, राम ही है एकता में, प्रगति में राम है। राम बस भक्तों नहीं शत्रु की भी चिंतन में है, देख तज के पाप रावण, राम तेरे मन में है, राम तेरे मन में है, राम मेरे मन में है, राम तेरे मन में है, राम मेरे मन में है। राम तो घर घर में है, राम हर आंगन में है, मन से रावण जो निकाले, राम उसके मन में है। मन से रावण जो निकाले, राम उसके मन में है।
Having been entrapped in Lanka for so long, I was finally free. Or so I thought. After being saved, I was ready to be reunited with Ram, and I ran towards him. But then, I saw this serious expression on his face. I realized something was wrong. It was something I would never have imagined. He was doubting my chastity and faithfulness. Ram ordered me to take an Agni Pariksha to test my purity. I was hurt, but I reluctantly agreed. I requested my Mother Earth, the Bhumi Devi, and the fire god, the Agni Dev, to help me prove myself. Everyone watched in horror as I walked through the flames, but to their relief, I emerged without any harm. When I saw Ram's face, he was the happiest he had ever been. And that is why I understood why he asked me to undertake this deadly test. As a prince, and soon to be crowned king, he had to fulfill his responsibilities to his people. He had to not only look out for me, but more importantly, had to ensure that his subjects were content. Nevertheless, when I went into the fire, I was forced to question the respect I had for him.
जिस सीता को माता समझते उस पर ही दूषित लांछन लगाते, सीता का सम्मान जाता देख श्री राम कुछ भी कर नहीं पाते, श्री राम कुछ भी कर नहीं पाते। सीता का उदाहरण देकर लोग नारी का अपमान करते, एक बात राम समझ नहीं पाए, प्रजा को सही राह कैसे दिखाए, प्रजा को सही राह कैसे दिखाए। मन में नारी का मान नहीं है, प्रजा को कोई भान नहीं है, कैसे नारी सम्मान लौटाए, श्री राम को ये ज्ञान नहीं है, श्री राम को ये ज्ञान नहीं है।
We were finally returning to Ayodhya. It felt surreal that 14 years had passed by in the company of Ram and Lakshman. We were astonished at the enthusiasm we received, which was even greater than when we had gotten married. The people of Ayodhya respected us for listening to the harsh orders of Ram's stepmother and surviving the dangerous obstacles. They believed that our arrival marked the end of the prevailing dark times and invited brightness to once again enter their lives. They danced their hearts out and played the dhol or the drums to celebrate this memorable time. The positive energy rejuvenated them and lifted their spirits. To destroy the darkness once and for all, they lit their candles or diyas, illuminating all of Ayodhya with brightness. Since then, this occasion has been celebrated as Diwali or the Festival of Lights. The victory of good over evil brought with it the destruction of anger and hatred and the evolution of immense common bliss. Individuals felt motivated to turn inward, feeling their own quietness and meditative peace.
ओ
जलाओ दिए जलाओ मंगल गाओ राम आए हैं अयोध्या दिए जलाओ मंगल गाओ राम आए हैं अयोध्या तीनों लोक के स्वामी हैं जो तीनों लोक के स्वामी हैं श्री राम आए हैं अयोध्या दिए जलाओ मंगल गाओ राम आए हैं अयोध्या ज्ञान लिया और वचन दिया के जब तक दे हम प्राण रहेगा ज्ञान लिया और वचन दिया के जब तक दे हम प्राण रहेगा न्याय रहेगा धर्म रहेगा उस पलड़े में राम रहेगा न्याय रहेगा धर्म रहेगा उस पलड़े में राम रहेगा दिए जलाओ दिए जलाओ मंगल गाओ राम आए हैं अयोध्या दिए जलाओ मंगल गाओ राम आए हैं अयोध्या राम आए हैं अयोध्या सियावर रामचंद्र की जय मेरे प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय राजा रामचंद्र की जय प्रभु श्री रामचंद्र की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय मेरे प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय राजा रामचंद्र की जय प्रभु श्री रामचंद्र की जय
Ram finally earned his birthright and was crowned king. It was as if we had never left. Learning from our past conflicts, we began our reign with a deep commitment to righteousness and justice. Just when we thought life couldn't get any better, we learned that I was carrying a bundle of joy myself. However, an incident soon arose that casted a shadow over our happiness. Ram was visiting the city to strengthen his connection with the community when he came across the dhobis. The washermen were thoroughly involved in their activities and were gossiping just like any normal day. Word soon reached Ram's ears about an accusation made against me that claimed I was impure because I had been living in another man's house and was unfit to be queen. This brought to light the doubts that were still lingering in the minds of the people in Ayodhya, despite my walking through the flames of the Agni Pariksha. Ram could not believe that his wife's faithfulness was being tested once again. Ram was torn between his duty as a ruler to uphold the highest moral standards and his love for me. In a decision that caused him immense personal pain and heartbreak, he chose to place the welfare of his kingdom and the expectations of his people above his own happiness. He made a great sacrifice to preserve Dharma. Blissfully enjoying the company of my family, I was unaware of what was happening right under my nose. But soon I noticed the change in Ram's behavior. He couldn't even bear to look me in the eyes, leaving me confused. One day, Lakshman asked me to accompany him, but every time I asked him where, he would avoid giving me an answer. I sensed something was wrong, but I never knew how agonizing it would be until Lakshman just left me in the forest. Dharma is about exchange, about giving and receiving. It is about outgrowing animals' instincts and fear and discovering the ability to confront others and enabling them to find meaning. I knew Ram's love for me was boundless, and he felt that he had no other choice. But I couldn't help but sense the hypocrisy in the Dhobi's thinking, because they were accusing an innocent woman for the sins of others. How was this dharma? This separation hit harder than anything had before, especially as this was a question of my self-respect. The light inside me began to fade. The forest, which had once been a place of hardship during exile, now became my sanctuary. My life had become stagnant, as if the never-ending ticking of time had become frozen forever. Being abandoned by my own while carrying not one but two children, I was lost, never having to endure such isolation before. But then I happened to come across Sage Valmiki's ashram as they're going about their daily chores. They invited me to stay with them. The ashram became my spiritual home, where I was able to practice my spirituality and become my authentic self. There, I delivered my 2 wonderful sons, Love and Kush, and I was happy again, forgetting about the pain from my past. A glimmer of hope illuminated the path ahead, forming bravery in our hearts. I tried to pass on my values to my kids, ensuring they knew that it was just as important to balance public duty with family responsibilities as it was to practice archery and engage in combat without spilling blood. They inherited the material prowess of their father, but their sensibility was shaped largely by me, their mother. One day, the boys were playing with their bows and arrows when they noticed a stranger approaching them. He asked them who their father and mother were, and for both, they pointed in my direction. He was so impressed that he demanded to see me. When our eyes met, we were left speechless. It was Ram. We had never imagined we would see each other again, and especially never with our 2 sons. Ram was ready to take us all back to Ayodhya immediately. However, I rejected his offer because I had no regrets. I knew that I could not go back to a place where I would be forced to constantly prove my innocence, and my character would be tarnished. I told him that I would not take another Agni Pariksha and use my inner fire to protect my dignity. I declared that I would be returning to the Parthivi, the same way I had been found on earth. I knew my decision would force me to leave my sons behind, but I was a changed person now because of the circumstances, and this was my destiny.
धीमे धीमे चले पुरवैया
I requested my divine mother, the great Bhumi Devi, to once again create a place for me in the earth. As I made my plea, the ground beneath me opened, and the earth embraced me in her arms, accepting me back into her womb, symbolizing my unwavering virtue and ending my earthly sorrows. I asked for forgiveness from the gathered citizens for anything I may have done as they tried to stop me from being swallowed by the earth. Yet, I was firm in my decision and said my final goodbyes to my loved ones. My last words to Ram were an indication of the elixir of life, love, which was measureless like the ocean. As for me, I went back the same route that I had come from, into the furrow in the ground. And whatever remained above the ground of my hair slowly turned into blades of grass as they were being caressed by Ram. He sat there thinking of me, as he had always done, because I would always remain in his heart as he would mine, no matter what fate had planned for us.
समुद्रवसने देवी पर्वतस्तनमण्डिते समुद्रवसने देवी पर्वतस्तनमण्डिते विष्णुपत्नी नमस्तुभ्यं पादस्पर्शं क्षमस्व मे विष्णुपत्नी समुद्भूते शङ्खवर्णे च मेदिनी संभूते भूमिदेवी नमोस्तुते भूमिदेवी नमोस्तुते
My disappearance into the earth had left behind a legacy that people could learn from. Yajurveda 13:26. O woman, you did not deserve to be defeated by challenges and obstacles. You possess the power to defeat the stiffest challenges. You have the valor of thousands of men. Realize your true potential and demonstrate your valor. People realized that a woman was empowered enough to do anything they truly desired. Many poems were also written about Ram and I's intertwined lives. They wrote about how, even though Lord Ram, you are great, Sita is even greater, and you cannot even be compared to her strength. She lived in your shadow for years and followed you into a forest. How could you have believed the sheer gossip that had entered your weak ears? And based on that, given her an Agni Pariksha. You are adorned with jewelry and silk and are known as a god, but still, in the scale of life, she will always weigh more. Lord Ram, you can never be compared to Sita's divinity, dignity, and integrity.
दयाना सागर थईने कृपारे निधान थईने छोने भगवान केवरा पण राम तमे सीताजी ने तो लेन आओ मारा राम तमे सीताजी ने तो लेन आओ काचारे कांत में क्या ना भगवान तमे अग्नि परीक्षा कोण कीधी तारो पड़ छायो થઈ જને પગડો રે બેઠો એને લોકોની વાતે ત્યાગી દીધી પતિ થઈ પત્નીને પારખતા ના આવડી છોને ઘટ ઘટ ના જ્ઞાતા થઈ ફૂલાઓ પણ રામ તમે सीताजीने तो लेन आओ मारा राम तमे सीताजीने तो लेन आओ.
My experiences act as an example of how true devotion and offering oneself wholeheartedly provides you with immense happiness. As this journey approached its end, we seeked refuge once again in serenity, acting as a step towards peace. I leave you here with a story, the Sitaya, that has hopefully been etched into all your hearts. The earth is the oldest form of a woman, and every woman is a form of earth. Every woman can create Ram by encompassing a version of Sita, and every woman has the ability to destroy countless demons just like Ravan. All women in this universe have the gift of Parthivi, just like I did.
प्रेम कोई हमें और न जाने, राम से रूठे राम से माने, राम सिया की करुण कहानी। एक है चंदन एक है पानी, राम सिया राम, जय जय राम, राम सिया राम, जय जय राम, राम सिया राम, जय जय राम, राम सिया राम, जय जय हरि अनंत हरि कथा अनंता, कहहि सुनहि बहु विधि सब संता। राम रतन धन जो कोई पाए, जीवन भर रामायण गाए। मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी, द्रवहु सुदस अजर बिहारी।